Over the weekend, you probably didn't hear much about last week's insurrection at the Capitol. 7 people and a menacing dog were caught stalking the halls of the Capitol, harassing and intimidating members of Congress and banging on doors late at night. Capitol Police arrested them on Thursday, held them in jail overnight, and charged them with unlawful entry, the same charge many of the January 6 rioters are facing. Why haven't we seen their mugshots? What about the video of their arrests? We've got every angle from January 6, but nothing from last week. How is this different? Because these 7 guys worked for the former comedian turned Biden superfan, Stephen Colbert. Triumph, the insult comic dog, and his team broke the rules and were messing around during the January 6 hearings. Apparently, it was a follow-up to this bit from 2020.
Many of us were not given press credentials, but this reporter will not be denied.
How you doing? Coming through to the...
Can't come here.
You're not allowed to be on this call.
All right, here's Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell's office/terrarium.
Mitch! Mitch, come out!
The Primetime team has done a thorough investigation into this horrific, and I mean horrific, breach of the Capitol. And here's what we know. They interviewed Democrats like Adam Schiff, Stephanie Murphy, and Jake Auchincloss earlier in the day on Thursday. Schiff helped them get into the place in the first place. He was an accessory to their crime, basically. And then Capitol Police told them to leave when they were trying to break into the hearing. But a Democrat aide let them back into the building after they were told to leave. Another accessory to the crime. Are you following the conspiracy yet? CBS responded to our request at Primetime for comment, confirming the arrest, saying, quote, after leaving the members' offices on their last interview of the day, the production team stayed to film stand-ups and other final comedy elements in the halls when they were detained by Capitol Police. Oh, they were more than detained, CBS. They were arrested, they were jailed, they were charged, and now a federal attorney has opened an active criminal investigation into the events of June 16th, a day that will go down as one of the darkest in American history. When the Republicans take the House, we expect hearings. What did Schiff know and when did he know it? Why are the Capitol Hill police covering up this crime? When do we get to see the surveillance footage? Did Schiff commit any unseemly acts on Triumph, the dog? Without the video, our minds are just left to speculate. When will we see Stephen Colbert testify? He incited and orchestrated a mob of producers to breach the Capitol and interfere with the democratic process. Will anybody be shackled like Peter Navarro? We don't know. We're going to find out. We aren't going to let this go, and you can help. The head of Capitol Police is Chief J. Thomas Manger. You can call him at 202-224-1677. For some reason, he doesn't like prime time. I don't know why. Everybody likes prime time. I don't know what's wrong with the chief. Congressman Jim Jordan is the Republican Judiciary Committee ranking member, and he joins us now. So do you expect to see surveillance footage and mug shots? Are we going to get any cooperation from Capitol Hill Police? They certainly cooperated with the January 6th committee.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, that's why we sent the letter, Jesse. We'd like to know the same questions you asked. We'd like to know who these individuals are, what happened to them, what exactly they were charged with, and maybe most importantly, what the video shows. But I think kind of the real takeaway is I thought the January 6th committee was supposed to be the most important investigation, the most solemn, serious committee in the history of the Republic. If that's the case, then why are they working with some comedy crew, letting them in to videotape whatever they were going to videotape and letting them in the Capitol complex illegally? So I think that's a question. This whole double standard and this idea that they get to have it both ways drives me crazy, you crazy, and I think all the folks who are watching drives them crazy as well.
Yeah, I mean, you invite these guys in, they make a spectacle, and he might have wanted them to get arrested, Colbert, right? Just like the January 6th protesters, maybe this was a big stunt to get these guys, this comic dog, arrested so they could put the little skit on late night and then maybe have a better shot of beating Gutfeld.
Yeah, but here's the real irony. They accuse a colleague of mine, Barry Loudermilk, of conducting a reconnaissance tour. The Capitol Hill chief of police was asked to look into this. He sent a letter to the House administration Republicans on that committee. And in that letter, he said there was nothing that was in any way could be viewed as any kind of reconnaissance or surveillance. Nothing suspicious whatsoever was one of the statements he used. So complete exoneration. But the January 6th committee just doubled down and says, oh, no, we don't believe what the Capitol Hill police chief said. We still think that happened. And yet then just a couple days later, this happens. They let people in illegally. They get arrested for doing a surveillance, doing some kind of reconnaissance. That, to me, is the real irony here. And I think the interesting thing is, if you go back to what happened to Barry Loudermilk, to our colleague, we only get to see a little bit of all the evidence this committee sees. And yet we have caught them, and just that little bit of evidence we get, we have caught them in major lies. We caught them lying about me in a text message I had forwarded to the chief of staff at the White House. We catch them in this lie about Congressman Loudermilk. Imagine what other things they're telling us that aren't accurate based on all the information we don't get to see. So that's, I think, a big concern that we have is all that information. We never get to access to the documents, and yet we don't know what that's all based on. How many other lies are they telling if we've caught them in just a couple with the limited amount of information we are privy to?
All right, well, we're not going to let this go. They're not going to pull a Paul Pelosi on us. We're going to get the mugshots. If I have to go to the Capitol Police Chief myself, we'll get it. Thank you very much, Congressman Jim Jordan.
Appreciate it, Jesse.